Are you going to change your slogan, continuity and change, now that you've realised how silly it is?
Well, it's not a slogan, and I'm not into slogans.
Well, a slogan is a phrase used repeatedly, a short, memorable phrase used in political campaigning.
Yes, well,
so I'd have to say it is a slogan because you used it repeatedly.
No, I've not used that slogan. I've subsequently learned that there was a slogan used in the American sitcom Veep, change with continuity or continuity with change.
Which they chose, incidentally, because it was the most meaningless election slogan they could think of. Does this reflect on your own choices?
Well, it really reflects on your choices, that we've spent so little time on national security and now we're talking about an American sitcom. But let me know.
As a matter of fact, you raised the American sitcom.
Yeah, well, you were right. That was where you were heading. Let me just make this point, Tony. The point that I made was in respect of questions about Mr. Abbott and myself, and I made the point that when there is a change of Prime Minister, and in fact this applies even when there's a change of government from one party to another, there are policies that continue, so there is continuity, and there are policies that change. And that is a fact. That is not a slogan, it is a fact.
And the other fact
that is true whether the change is from, when the change is from,
yes.
you know, for example, there is broadly very strong bipartisan commitment to our major pillars of our foreign policy. So whether you have a Labor government or a Liberal government, there is, broadly speaking, continuity there. But there will be changes in other areas.
Can we ask the question why you were forced to use this particular phrase or slogan? It was in response to Tony Abbott's repeated claim that you'd be campaigning on the achievements of the Abbott government. In a long campaign, how are you going to deal with the ghost of governments past?
Well, I think Australians are not very interested, other than yourself, of course, in the ghosts of government past. What they're interested in...
Other than myself and Tony Abbott's supporters on your backbench.
What Australians are interested in is the prospect of the future government. What they want to know is who is best able to manage Australia's economy, who is best able to lead our transition from an economy that was fuelled by a mining construction boom to one that is more diverse, that is grounded in innovation, in enterprise, in entrepreneurship, in investment, and in taking advantage of the opening up of these extraordinary markets in East Asia. The pace of growth there is unprecedented, both in the pace of the growth, the speed and the scale. Now, every measure of our economic plan, every element in it, is devoted to ensuring that we are best able to seize those opportunities. And so it is economic leadership that will be the key question in the election. It's the political...
But in any election campaign, there's tremendous interest in what happens behind the scenes, and not only behind the scenes, but on television. When Tony Abbott came forward and said what he said, it raised the question whether he's, in a sense, playing Kevin Rudd to your Julia Gillard, whether you could end up facing that same kind of psychodrama that played out during the 2010 election, whether he could undermine your support over a period of time. Isn't that a concern?
No, the Australian people are concerned about who can best ensure that their children and grandchildren will have great, well-paid jobs in the future. They're concerned about the choice between me and Bill Shorten. That's the choice that will face Australians at the election.
But have you got an assurance yet from Tony Abbott that he won't interfere in the campaign, since he's already done it on day one?
Tony, my focus is on leadership, on economic leadership in this context. Obviously, there are many other areas of leadership too. National security has been very much in our minds in the wake of the events in Brussels. But in terms of the election, the really big question is going to be who is best able to lead Australia in economic terms, who is best able to manage that transition, who's best able to promote investment and jobs. And, you know, everything we're doing is promoting investment. The Labor Party, on the other hand, is increasing the tax on investment. Now, if you want people to do less of something, you raise the tax on it. We put up the tax on cigarettes.
Okay,
when we do that so people smoke less.